Well, this'll make your ears perk up. There's no shortage of luxury around Dubai. This wealthy part of the United Arab Emirates is known for having the world's tallest building, a giant shopping mall with an indoor ski slope, a slew of five-star hotels. There are a lot of places to spend a lot of money here. And for those who need to stay caffeinated for spending, behold, the world's most expensive cup of coffee. This started with an auction of some apparently special beans in the Central American nation of Panama. For 44 pounds of said beans, a Dubai cafe ended up paying $600,000, what it calls the highest price ever for coffee. And back in the UAE, it's brewing them up for $980 a cup. That's right, for the not at all rock bottom price of almost 1,000 beans, you can enjoy white floral notes of jasmine, citrus flavors of orange and bergamot, delicate and sweet. Said one coffee drinker, it's shocking, but at the same time, it's Dubai. And said another, for wealthy people, it's just another experience they can boast about. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of The World from A to Z. Wednesdays are mid. I'm Carl Azuz, always happy to see you. The U.S. government has partially shut down more than 20 times before while lawmakers debated how to fund it. But as far as how long shutdowns have lasted, the current one tied a record Tuesday at 35 days, and unless Congress reached an agreement late last night, today sets a new record, a 36-day shutdown. Republicans and Democrats have repeatedly blamed each other for the funding disagreement. Government health care payments are part of their hang-up. Republicans say they want to reopen the government first and talk about health payments afterward. Democrats say they want health care costs addressed before the government reopens. The standoff continued as we produced this show. Meanwhile, the central Philippines are reeling from Typhoon Calmegi. Typhoons are similar to hurricanes but occur in the northern Pacific. Calmegi made landfall on Tuesday, becoming the 20th cyclone to hit the island nation this year. That's not unusual in this part of the world, but flooding in the Philippines started even before this storm came ashore, and some residents were driven to their rooftops as the water rose. Authorities said yesterday at least 40 people had been killed in the Philippines. With wind speeds of 81 miles per hour, Calmegi was the strength of a Category 1 hurricane as it passed over. It's now moving toward Vietnam and expected to hit there Thursday. In the Caribbean, we're getting a sense of the destruction caused by another recent disaster, Hurricane Melissa.
Across much of western Jamaica, the storm has passed, but you feel it everywhere. Survival mode has kicked in.
In here in Belmont, we are very distressed and we really need some help because you have persons who are very homeless and we don't really have any food supplies.
This is where you live here?
Now they're coming to terms with what's left, and for many here, it's not much. Night brings relief from the day's heat and humidity.
You get around with the flashlight on your phone, huh?
Yeah, man. So this is...
But there's no water and no power.
We have no roof there. You know, partially just this alone. It's really rough. It's very hard. It's hard to cope. We just have to try to keep the kids mentally stable and try to tough it out, you know.
At the hospital in Black River.
No power.
No power, no water.
No water, but the emergency room is still operating.
Yeah.
Dr. Sharif Imodu walks us through what's left.
I mean, this is your hospital.
Yes.
And
yes.
When you look out now, I mean, I know you're focused on patients day to day as well.
Yeah.
But like, have you been able to process this moment?
No. The one thing I can tell is that I'm very heartbroken. Extremely heartbroken when I see this.
And still his staff shows up.
Every single person that you see, people...
Even though, like him, many have lost their own homes.
There are no words to describe it. I said to you, apocalyptic. That's the only thing I can use.
It's tough to find the words to describe the level of devastation, destruction, and loss that we're seeing here. You see people also trying to continue on with some sense of normality.
We are resilient people. Already there is almost an empathetic solidarity across the island and across the world to get things here. We're not going to make our people starve, and anyone that comes here and visits us are not going to starve.
Officials are here, trying, but it's a lot. And when you're desperate, help can't come soon enough.
Well, we are Jamaicans. We are the strongest people in the world. This is ground zero. This is terrible.
Aid from abroad here too, setting up for the long haul. But first, it's Jamaicans helping Jamaicans.
Word of knowledge. Which of these topics was addressed by the 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution? Poll tax, voting age, presidential terms, congressional pay. Ratified in 1951, the 22nd Amendment formally set a limit of 2 presidential terms.
On this date in world history. On November 5th, 1872, women's rights activist Susan B. Anthony voted in the U.S. presidential election. But Carl, you might be asking, wasn't that like 48 years before women got the right to vote? It was. But Anthony argued that the 14th Amendment guaranteed her voting rights. A judge ruled it didn't and fined her $100 for voting illegally, but she never paid it. Several U.S. presidents were elected or re-elected on this date in history, but in 1940, Franklin D. Roosevelt became the first and only American leader elected to a 3rd term in office. He also won again 4 years later. The 22nd Amendment, which was ratified in 1951, has since limited presidents to 2 terms in office. And this was the date in 1943 when a pilot dropped several bombs on Vatican City during World War II. No one was killed, but there was significant damage. The city was neutral and off limits for the Allied and Axis powers, and for decades, there have been conflicting reports and considerable debate about who did it.
In the green hills of southern France, volunteer builders are stepping back in time, constructing a Gothic cathedral brick by brick the old-fashioned way. Fitted with medieval clothes and traditional tools, the crew answers to Valérie Aucent, the civil engineer who hatched the idea for this project.
Here, we are currently building the 15th century chapel. Then we'll build a cloister with different galleries and convent buildings as if it were an 11th century priory, and eventually the large Gothic structure, reminiscent of cathedrals from that era.
It's a massive undertaking, funded by a wide range of supporters, and without modern power tools and construction technology, it's gonna take a while, as construction projects did in medieval history.
We imagine it will take 40 years, maybe 50. We're working with old techniques, doing everything manually, so estimating an exact duration is complicated.
The construction site is open to visitors for a small charge, and to volunteers who want to take a crack at historic building methods. Aucent wants to include a variety of skill levels in his work crew, yet another way to mimic medieval practices. The building of churches expanded greatly after the 10th century as Europe's population rapidly grew, and everyone in the parish area was encouraged to contribute in the creation of these new buildings. Wealthy parishioners often gave vast amounts of money, while poorer folks offered labor and other resources they could afford. The result? An era of awe-inspiring places of worship throughout much of Europe, with decades and sometimes centuries spent getting the details just right.
Today, big, inspiring artistic and architectural projects can be completed in a fraction of the time. Take the rebuilding of Notre Dame, for example.
Still, Aucent and his volunteer crew believe the old way is worth the extra effort, mixing cob, sand, clay, straw, and water, and hand-leveling stones.
The Ocean State, the smallest state, Little Rhodey. They're all names for Rhode Island, and that's where Mrs. Weeks' class is with us from Broad Rock Middle School. Hello to our friends in Wakefield. From the mountain state of West Virginia, it's great to see our viewers in Mr. O's class. Ronald C. Mulholland Juvenile Center is in Wheeling. And our last stop for the day is at Central High School, the one in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Shout out to Mrs. Mees or May's class in the home of the Golden Eagles. Guinness World Records we didn't know existed. The largest gathering of people wearing conical party hats. Not only does it exist, it was broken last week at Ohio State. The university's mascot, Brutus Buckeye, was celebrating its 60th birthday, so students, faculty, and fans packed into a gym, put on some pointy hats, and had Guinness certify that never before had 1,924 people done that. Well, why be close-minded about high-hatted hootenannies with cavalier ideas? There's no decorated, trilby, pithy, and newsboy worthy to cap off a record by donning festive and fascinator dome pieces that could be hat-tipped and described as fedorable. Plus, you just never know what can happen when people put their heads together. I'm Carl Azuz, and hats all the time we have on the world from A to Z. My hat's off to the best audience in news.